thanks everyone for joining us for this Passover Seder virtually in light of the COVID scare. We're so excited to meet Zhenya's family after everything Nikki has told us. Since we've all got the Zoom fatigue, we decided to do an abridged Seder. But first, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Dave, I'm Nikki's dad, and I love Passover because it's all about the survival of the Jewish people and welcoming the stranger, as we were once strangers ourselves.
Thanks, Davey. I'm Rachel. I'm Nikki's mom. Welcome everyone to my Zoom room.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. For everyone else, I'm Nikki. I use they and them pronouns. I am here on Lashon Ohlone land, and I'm so excited to finally meet Jenya's family.
Hey everyone. Hey Dave and Rachel. Good to see you again. Привет, родственники. My name is Zhenya. I use she and they pronouns. And if you can't say Zhenya, Jay is just fine.
Thank you for sharing that, Jenya.
Здравствуйте все. Меня зовут Зина. Очень приятно.
Misha, Zhenya's dad.
Shalom, everyone. I'm Arik, Misha's brother, Zhenya's uncle, calling you from Ashdod. Good. This is on Zoom, and I could join you. It's 4 a.m. here, but I'm very excited to be here.
Nice to meet you, Eric and Zena and Mikhail. Thank you all for coming. So, let's get started. Normally we use the more contemporary refugee Haggadah that Hayas put out, but this year, in honor of our guests, I dug up this original Save the Soviet Jewish Haggadah from the 1980s that's been in our family for decades. You know, I actually helped write this as a young man. My ancestors are also from Russia, so I felt a real spiritual calling to help save them. I mean you. I mean them. I mean you.
Where in Russia is your family from?
Well, you know, it was a long time ago, so we're not really sure. We just know that they were from Russia.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can everybody see my screen? You can see it? Okay. Okay, so let's start. We're going to start with the blessing over the wine. Okay, so everybody pour yourself a glass for Kiddush. Okay, and I'm going to go to the middle of page 3. And you know what? I'm going to zoom right in so we can all see this. Okay. Okay, so this is, I'm quoting a primary source document. Okay, so it says, quote, a Soviet Jew does not know the feeling of religious freedom. He or she or they cannot ever have Kiddush without the fear of repression. Oh, so for a few moments, we say the prayer for our wine while we feel their suffering.
Что это чушь? Какой suffering? Не понимаю это.
Michael, we know it's a really sensitive topic. I think what this Kiddush prayer is referring to is the plight of the Soviet Jews under the brutality of the communist regime.
What plight? I never had any problems. My plight was the same as everybody around me. We all wanted well-paying jobs and apartments big enough to fit our families. That's all.
Yeah, but didn't you come here for religious freedom? That's what my Soviet Jewish pen pal told me in the 1970s.
Well, I mean, sure, religious freedom is nice, but in the 1980s, most of us who wanted to leave were secular Jews raised in a secular country. I mean, I know I was a Jew. It was written on my face. You could tell in my passport, but I never felt the fanatic religious stuff like my brother.
Yes, they took away our religion so long ago that you didn't know to miss it. Our God was supposed to be Dedushka Lenin. We weren't even taught Jewish history. If taking interest in my history and religion makes me fanatic, no.
Russian history, it's Pushkin, Arik, Mendeleev, Tchaikovsky, Bulgakov, Chekhov.
Мальчики, хватит спорить об истории. Наша история– это то, что ваш отец воевал на фронте, а я рубила дрова в эвакуации. Слава богу, мы выжили. Вообще ужас, что происходит сейчас в России. А на Украине подавно. Я каждую неделю говорю со Светой. Она все еще старается эвакуировать дочку.
Миша, ты расстроил маму.
Да ладно, давайте лучше выпьем за то, что мы все вместе, ребята. О,
Is everything all right?
Yeah, it's about the war. You can just keep going.
Yeah, I heard Ukraine. Okay, we're gonna move ahead in the Haggadah. So I'm gonna share the screen again. Okay, and now we're gonna go to page 8. Okay, so let me scroll down here. Okay, so at the top of page 8, we're going to learn about the 4 children of the Jewish Soviet Union. Eric, would you like to start us off?
Yes. The 4 children of the Soviet Union. The first child, his wise. He asks who he is and his background. Learning about his heritage is an obsession for him. He wants to be a Jew.
So what?
The second child, he is evil. He asks, what good is being Jewish to me? He totally rejects his religion for the sake of complacency and an easier life. The third child is simple.
Okay, wait, can we stop for a second?
No problem.
I know this is an actual primary source document, and we should understand that it was created and it's a product of its time. But, you know, as Babushka said, we're all grateful to be here. But I think we can all realize that this is extremely patronizing, right?
Yeah, and for a bunch of Jews, this whole savior narrative sounds a little bit Christian.
Nikki.
Exactly. Look, I just read an article about this movement the other day, and apparently Save the Soviet Jews was funded by the Israeli and US governments. And since when have they been concerned with universal human rights? And if they had been, wouldn't they have granted refugee status to other non-Jewish groups who were trying to flee the Soviet Union? And if they were so interested in saving people, what about all the people who wanted to leave all the countries where the US had backed the dictators?
Well, after the US turned away Jewish refugees who were fleeing the Holocaust, it was on us to look after our own.
Yes, your intentions are great. And that is the reason your movement received so many resources compared to others, making the US look like the hero during the Cold War. And it helped Israel increase its population of settlers.
So what? We were not supposed to help?
No. Happy to be here. God bless America.
I love my life in Israel.
Look, I agree. We should all help each other. We're all very grateful, but let's think about who you're helping and why. Like right now, should I be fundraising for my relatives in Ukraine? Or should I be making donations and fundraising for people in Afghanistan who are going through the same suffering but are receiving much fewer resources because they're not white? Also, should I be organizing to support Indigenous people on this land where we are settlers? Think about it.
You kids think too much.
Миша, это твой ребенок. Смотри, чушь.
Okay, yes, I am your child. Thank you, Papa y Dada. But you immigrated here and you worked so hard so I could have all the time and resources to think about who I am and what it means for me to live an ethical life.
Да хватит спорить с взрослыми, Женечка. Тогда уже, может быть, ужинать по-нормальному. Ну,
You weep it.
Listen, Dave, Rachel, I for one love a good Seder. It's 5 a.m. I have to start getting ready for Shacharit.
But didn't you all come here to learn how to be Jewish? We haven't even gotten to the story of Passover.
Okay, look, people left for all kinds of reasons. It's true. Some were fleeing anti-Semitism and looking for a place to be religious, but others were looking for economic opportunities and also scared of the government collapse. Don't you remember your history?
Dobry wieczór. Hi everyone. So sorry I'm late. I got caught up in another Zoom with Baba Yaga. Did I miss the Seder? I brought kosher macaroons.
I think we're just wrapping up.
Oh my gosh, Zhenya, is this the protected house spirit that you were telling me about the other day?
Yes, I am the domovoi of the Zoom room. Zoomavoy, if you will.
Okay, Domovoi, since you're the authority on protecting the home, can you please help us resolve our debate about the politics of hospitality?
I can certainly try.
In that case, I have a question for you. How do you balance being hospitable with taking care of your own? As Jews, isn't our first obligation to look out for other Jews?
Well, as I take care of the family home, I also entertain guests of all kinds in the banya or sauna. The devil himself has been known to enjoy a good schwitz, huh? This is why I ask that religious icons be kept out of the banya.
Wow, how nice of you to invite people into your home without imposing your religious expectations on them.
That's right, Zhernishka. And I hear these two households are joining right now. That means we have to take care of what's inside the house. This isn't always an easy task. We need to sweep out some of these cobwebs, all the spiders crawling out of them. And I see you've already begun tonight.
Oh, we certainly have. You know, it seems there's a lot more to your culture than Dave and I understand, and it may take some time for us to learn.
Well, I mean, if you really want to learn about our culture, you got to come to our Novi God celebration and try some of Babushka Zina's Olivier.
We have no idea what that means, but we would love to find out.
Hey, Dad, in the meantime, do you think we should retire this Haggadah?
Well, it's hard to let go of something that's an actual primary source document, but maybe we put it away for now, and next year we create a new Haggadah together.
How about we end this abridged, awkward Zoom Seder with a toast, huh? Everyone raise their glasses. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. За наше будущее.